Hello, this is Frank Allen's chemistry class at Davis High School, Aldine School District. This is a review of density quiz given on or around September 26th, Thursday and Friday classes. Density quiz. If you so desire, you may want to stop your video and work each problem and then turn the video back on to get the solution. We'll start with number 1, determine the density. Density is always mass divided by volume. The mass is 500 grams. Volume is 3 dimensions, whether it's a cylinder, a square, a sphere, whatever it is. In this case it's a rectangle, so we're going to use this dimension, and that dimension. You don't use 10 twice because that's the same dimension. So we're going to multiply this dimension times that dimension times that dimension. We're multiplying. 3 times 10 times 2 is 60. That's 60 cubic centimeters. And therefore your density is 8.3 grams per cubic centimeter. You must have the correct units. You get a point deducted if you have the wrong units.
We're ready to release the 800, the 900, and the athletics hallways. 800, 900, and athletics hallways, you are dismissed. Everyone have a great afternoon.
And again, this is density. We start off with the formula for density, mass over volume. The mass is 200. Okay, the volume, cylinder, you've got the formula up here in the instructions that I gave you. Formula for volume of a cylinder is pi r cubed h. Pi is 3.14. R is the radius. The radius is half the diameter. That's 3 squared. Height is 10. We're multiplying all this stuff. You're going to get about 282 cubic centimeters. 200 divided by 282 is going to be about 0.7 grams per cubic centimeter. So that's the answer for that one. And again, you have to have the correct units or you get a point deducted. Here we want density. Once again, we've mentioned it 1,000 times. Density is mass over volume, and that's going to be 300 grams. The volume of a cube, this is just a special rectangle, but regardless, volume is 3 dimensions. So this is going to be 4 times 4 times 4, which is 64 cubic centimeters. And the answer there is going to be 4.7 grams per cubic centimeter. Just like the volume here is 3 dimensions, except we have to multiply those 3 dimensions by pi because of the circular surface at the end. But this is still 3 dimensions. 3 centimeters times 3 centimeters times 10 centimeters. Number 5, determine density. Once again, we start with the formula for density, which is mass over volume. That's 10 grams. The volume is the amount of water that is displaced or pushed up when you drop the object in. This is the volume of water without the object. Drop the object in. The volume of water goes up to 38. Therefore, the volume of the object is 8. And therefore, the density is 1.25 grams per milliliter. This is not milliliters cubed. You did not multiply milliliters times milliliters. It's just milliliters. Number 4, here we're asking for the radius. Here we have an object, and it's a cylinder. We know the height is 10 centimeters. We know the cylinder weighs 800 grams. And we know its density is 3 grams per cubic centimeter. What we want to know is what is that radius. So we're going to have to use both formulas, density and the formula for volume of a cylinder, because that's the one that contains the R. This does not contain R for radius. This does, so we're going to have to use this. You have to remember to write down V equals. If you forget to write down V equals, you'll get stuck. This is what we'll use to determine R. So we're going to have to find volume first, and we've got the height, and this is just pi, so then we can solve for R. But to find the volume, we've got to use the density formula first, and that's going to be a little algebra. 3 is equal to 800 over x, and then we're just going to cross multiply. 3 times x is 3x, and that's equal to 800. That's multiplying, cross multiplying, divide by 3, divide by 3. X is equal to about 266. I think it was 266, yeah. 266. So this is our volume. That's what we solved for. So in other words, the volume is 266, and it is equal to 3.14. We don't know the radius. We do know the height. So now we need to get rid of everything that's doing something to R. This is just simple algebra. We need to get rid of everything that's doing something to R, but when we do it to one side, we have to do it to the other side. So those cancel, and we're going to be left with R squared is equal to about 8.5. Don't make a mistake and just put R. This is not R, this is R squared. Now I don't want R squared, I want R. So we have to take the square root of that. And there's a square root symbol on your calculator. You can find it, and that's going to end up being about 2.91. Now what unit is this? Well, radius is measured in just centimeters. It's not measured in centimeters cubed or centimeters squared or anything like that. Last problem is the bonus. If you're retaking it or you're absent, you're not eligible for the bonus. So the bonus is going to end up being 1.59 grams per cubic centimeter. Essentially what you have to do is you have to find the density, or rather you need to find the volume of the big cylinder, and then you need to find the volume of the space or the hole, and then you subtract, and that gives you the volume of the material only. And then you divide density by this volume, or excuse me, you divide mass by this volume, and that gives you the density, which should be 1.59. And if you want me to work that for you individually, you just come in and I'll work that for you individually in class. So this is the density quiz. Get this taken care of if you need to retake it, or if you missed it or were absent. You won't have the exact same numbers, but they'll pretty much be similar problems. I could make this a word problem and just put cylinder and not give you the picture, but that would be the only type of change that I would make. You'll have similar problems. You will definitely have one of these on there, and again, no bonus for those of you who are retaking it. All right, good luck with this.